Oh, kamusta kayong lahat?
Okay lang, Mayor.
Magaling na ba kayo? Unang-una, first of all, this is really a time, to look forward for this coming year. And mukhang marami mangyayari dito na magaganda. At nais ko lang ipasabi sa inyo na there is close coordination between the majority floor leader, Congressman Romualdez, and myself, as well as even the U.S. ambassador to the U.S., the Ambassador Romualdez. And gusto ko lang sabihin na sa mga Taclobano, not to worry. We are closely coordinating with the national government with regards to the vaccine that's needed, no? We have to realize also that, alam nyo, nag-iingat rin tayo dahil huwag natin kalimutan yung nangyari sa Denbaxia. Diba? Baka tayo magmadali tapos magka-problema later on. So we are making sure that, there will be some accountability also, when we purchase or when we acquire these vaccines. But nakikita ko naman that the Department of Health naman is doing everything they can, and as announced by Secretary Galvez that we are a priority also, being a highly urbanized city. Alam niyo naman na hanggang ngayon nasa GCQ status tayo dahil nakikita natin iba-ibang lugar dito sa region ay maraming nagpa-positive pa rin, at ang puntahan ay dito sa siyudad ng Tacloban kasi nandito yung mga ospital natin. Kaya and also this last couple of weeks maraming mga close sa akin ay unfortunately did not survive the disease. My condolences really to their families. And so it's still here. So, gusto ko lang sabihin sa lahat na mag-ingat pa rin tayo. Natapos, nakaraos na tayo dito sa mga holidays natin. At let's not forget the same social distancing, the wearing of the mask, and really to be careful. But dito si Dr. Gloria will explain the protocols, existing protocols that mangyayari dito. Alam nyo, balikan ko lang itong vaccine na to, no? Medyo komplikado ito kasi kung pag-acquire lang, madali naman mag-acquire financially, that's very possible na, hindi problema yan. Ang talagang pinag-aaralan, yung pag-transport. Kasi pag-transport, below 70 degrees, almost freezing. So, in transporting, and also, I think, and I know that in Dr. Glow with DOH, pinag-aaralan now how to administer these vaccines, no? Because there must be standards, in place. Because, you want the vaccine to be effective. If you don't follow the standards and the proper procedures, then it might lose, its effectiveness sa effectivity ng mga sa tao ba. So, yung pinag-aaralan yan. And of course, being that as a priority, marami pa rin priorities natin. Itong pumasok na naman tong ang tawag ng ASF, African Swine Flu, diba? Bakit nandito sa Pilipinas to? Africa naman ito, bakit? Ayun nga. So, but you said that's why we have Dr. Eunice with us, and she will explain the protocols para makita nyo in detail ano yung mga gagawin natin dito sa Tacloban, no? But also, we had some problems with regard to the solid waste management. Nagkaroon ng konting problema dahil sa sobrang ulan natin, ano? So may mga ibang areas papunta sa dam site, nababalaho yung truck. May isang truck nga nahulog sa lusabangin dahil masyado madulas. But it's being worked on now, and I told them I'm giving them only this week to finish that concreting of the road going to the dump site para maging maayos yan, no? So there are also other issues that we're attending to. Be rest assured na nakafocus tayo dyan. So, but before I get into that, nandito naman yung mga department heads to explain in detail what is going on, no? In those other specs. And but I'd like to give some time, so if there are any queries from any of you na maisagot ko, mabaton ko para maano natin, ma-straighten out o mapaliwanag natin sa mga tao. So I'd like to start with if you have any questions, please.
So you mentioned that money is not a problem for the procure this anti-COVID vaccines. Initially, how much money can we...
Money is not an issue really here yet, no? Because it depends. For example, we are going to address, I think, recipients would be over a certain age and not also over a certain age. So may age bracket yan. Pangalawa, yung pinag-aaralan rito, yung paano madadala dito yung vaccine na yan, no? Pangatlo, kung may mga problema, accountability. That's why the local government cannot purchase this directly. We have to go to now a tripartite agreement with the national government. But better yet, if the national government would initiate and we will just follow that, so there is some sort of accountability and we can get a better, we can probably get a better deal. Because, you know, pag national government kasama, then you're dealing in bulk. So, you know, we have to be careful because, you know, sayang naman. We survived, you know, COVID with very few casualties and yet, baka dito tayo magka-problema pa sa vaccine, di ba? Kasi, syempre, pagka ma-release yung vaccine na yan, everybody will be confident. They will start going out. And what happens now? Do we really know? Kasi alam nyo, itong vaccine na to, ang nakakaiba dito, minadali nila to eh. Kahit saan, kahit sa Pfizer, kahit sa at lahat yan, minadali nila yan. Normally, hindi ganyan kabilis. So, kailangan bantayan natin. So, yung pagkuha nitong vaccine na to, dahan-dahan muna tayo dyan, titingnan nila. So, I have to go with the national government on what is their assessment here. And then we'll work for that, no? Purchasing this, I think, was never a problem, even for the government. It's really looking at its, you know, effectiveness and making sure talaga may some sort of accountability rin to, di ba? So, yun lang masasabi ko, no?
But we're playing some figures, how much, like 50 million, 20 million?
Hindi, alam mo, kahit umabot ng 1 billion yan, hahanapan natin ng ano yan. Pero hindi naman ganyan karaming tao sa Tacloban. You see, so if you're talking about 1, 2 to 300 million, up to 400 million, the congressman and I can work something out always for that. Basta, be rest assured, mga Taclobanos, your priority, you know, so, wag it na being an HUC, because nandito naman talaga yung very active ang commerce dito, very active economy for the region here, so, you know, we'd like to make sure that, you know, our frontliners, get it immediately.
You mentioned U.S. Ambassador James Romualdez. Are you saying that we're going to take your Pfizer?
No, what I'm saying is he's also working on that with Pfizer, but we have to wait for the Department of Health and we have to wait for Malacanang ano yung nangyayari sa kanila, di ba? So, maraming options Titingnan muna natin saan nagpe-play yan. Kasi syempre ganito yan Maraming vaccine lumabas, tapos titignan nila yan pagkaraan ng ilang buwan, ano yung pinaka-effective. Doon maglalaro ang presyo niyan. Diba? Baka sabihin natin, maganda nga sinasabi kay Pfizer, o maganda naman yung isang klase, o maganda yung Sinovac vaccine, di ba? But after 6 months, maybe you will see what is the most effective one. Then, unfortunately, I hope it doesn't become the most expensive one. Because sigurado magbabago mga presyo niyan, depende sa performance ng mga yan, di ba? Yan ang pinag-aaralan ng gobyerno natin. Diba? Pero pinakamadali dyan, ako, masasabi ko lang sa inyo, kung baga sa Maganda nga yan, kumbaga sa police, may bulletproof vest ka, pero siguraduhin mo, hindi ka tamaan sa ulo, di ba? May vaccine ka, sigurado naman, mag-ingat ka rin, di ba? Hindi naman sa ibig sabihin, pag may vaccine, back to normal, 100%, okay na tayo. Hindi mo masabi yan. Kung may ibang sakit, may ibang strain na naman, di ba? Gagastos tayo ng, sabihin natin, 300 million. Tapos next year, may bagong strain, iba na naman vaccine. Abay, ano nangyayari sa atin dito? Nabubuhay lang tayo para sa vaccine. Di ba? Kaya kailangan pag-aralan natin mabuti.
Mayor, are we targeting to subject everybody, every Taclobanon to...
Well, we have to start with the frontliners. Okay? And we will go with the priority list given by the national government because nakita nyo naman, nakikita naman namin statistics.
Is there like a percentage of the population that you want to target?
No, we start with the frontliners and then we will go from there. And then when you talk of, I said, yung exempted lang dyan, yung a certain age below and a certain age above. I think it's above 80. Something like that. You know? And then all the rest, then frontliners are priorities. And you have to remember, we are presuming everybody wants to get vaccinated. Not everybody wants to be prioritized. May iba dyan gusto mag-intay muna. Titignan muna nila kung ano yung mabuti, di ba? Kasi marami din natakot sa Denmark sa nangyari. May ibang effect You hear stories now here, yung ibang na-vaccinate, di ba, sa Norway. May mga ibang senior citizen yan namatay. So, nung narinig nila yan, medyo nag-iisip sila, di ba? Nagdadalawang isip din, di ba? Kaya sinabi ni Secretary Roque, tama naman, hindi ka pipilitin, papipirmahin ka lang na ayaw mo muna magpa-vaccine and then you will be excused. So, so we're still working those things out. But as I said, because it's a new thing, I don't want to tell the people na it's 100% safe. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist. But seeing sa nangyari na to na ang bilis naman lumabas, di ba? Talagang minadali ito. So, tingnan natin. But let's just hope for the best. So, my advice, let wisdom dictate that mag-ingat lang. Kahit meron na yan, di ba? Mag-ingat pa rin tayo. Nobody's exempt. Ako, tinamaan ako. Nahirapan ako. Hanggang ngayon, medyo nahihirapan pa ako. Mahirap mag-recover dyan. Okay? And ako, I live a very healthy lifestyle except for the problems you give me. But, I'm able to survive.
Meron pa mabakuna po kayo?
Ha?
Papabakuna po.
Oo naman, kasi paano, hindi ako naniniwala, paano ka magiging effective na chief executive kung nagtatago ka? Hindi naman ako, kaya ka tinamaan, hindi naman pwede. I will be careful up to a certain extent, but I have to work. Diba? So kung magpapabakuna ako, oo naman. Kung isipin ng mga tao, sabihin natin, kumbaga sa food taster ako, pwede ba ako munang guinea pig? Kung sabihin naman ng DOH yan, safe naman yan. So, sige. Kasama sa trabaho yan Why not?
Sir, is there any recommendations from the national government on the part of a vaccine that will be purchased by the LGUs? Because sinasabi nila, kung nilalapod nila yung galing sa China, in your part as local chief executive, may mga recommendations from the national government?
I think ang hinahabol ng national government, it's not I think, I know, hinahabol nila is really quick response because it crippled our economy nationwide. You see? So they have to look for a way when in the economy, we can jumpstart our economy right away because wala na tayong pag-uusapan kung hindi ma-pick up itong economy natin, hindi maka-pick up, di ba? Kaya nakikita nila, itong available, ito yung vaccine na nandyan, kunin na natin ito at least sa mga frontliners para right away we can hopefully, that jumpstart the economy and get things going. Habang tumatagal naman yan sa private sector, they'll be able to acquire naman the best of the best. Diba? Tumatagal lang, that's part of negotiation, supply and demand and all that. So I think that will work out in not very near future, but I think it will work out that way. But kailangan na muna talaga mag-umpisa na tayo, lalo na sa mga frontliners. See? So I've not heard any horrible stories about the Sino vaccine. So so kayo sa media, you're the best people to know kasi malalaman nyo right away kung may pumutok na problema ganyan. Pero may mga problema naman na hindi nga vaccine, yung nangyari sa Norway, ibang vaccine naman yun, di ba? Oh, sir.
Does it mean, sir, that senior citizens are less priority in your, so far as city government?
No. You know, what is happening now in government is like this. What if the vaccine is, when the vaccine is offered and we have an incident that a lot of people die, who is responsible? You see, this is what we're looking at. If you look at it, you're going to vaccinate how many people? You're going to vaccinate millions of people. Ang tinamaan ng COVID, 500,000 lang, 9,000 plus ang namatay. Magba-vaccinate ka ngayon ng mga 50 million people, eh baka naman umabot lampas pa 10,000 na mamatay dahil dyan. Sino mananagot dyan? Kita mo? Kaya yun ang pinag-aaralan. Kaya may sistema tayo sa gobyerno. Ang accountability, pagkatapos, they will exercise now due diligence to make sure what works. Because all over the world, when you make a vaccine like this, normally it takes 10 years. They did this now in how many years only? 1 year, few months. Oh. So, itong pinag-aaralan natin. Kaya, let's not jump the gun and let's say na, 100% foolproof ito. Eh kung hindi, sino accountable? Baka tumalon tayo, kumuha tayo kagad nito, baka tapos nagkakaproblema. Ano yung long-term effect? Di ba? O, baka yung long-term effect nito after 5 years, after 10 years. Anong long-term effect? We don't know. So, I'm just saying, ngayon, medyo good kasi medyo magandang natin kasi nakikita mo ilan ng bansa na sobrang daming namatay. Tayo 10,000. Now I'm not saying that na binabaliwala natin, hindi. Pero that's a significant low amount of people that perished, that died. So for me, we should give credit now to ourselves and to the government, that no, we just have that much casualty. So you might be jumping the gun now with all these vaccines and all that, experiment ito, tapos biglang dumami pa. Ingat rin tayo dyan, di ba? And always in government is what we're looking for is accountability. Because the people, kawawa naman, di ba? Saan sila tutungo? Saan sila pupunta? Kaya I'm sure yan ang tinitignan ng gobyerno natin. Sino accountable dito? Pag ito inano natin, kailangan may accountability rin.
On the preparation for the vaccination roadmap, nasa na po tayo ngayon? Are we already preparing for the transportation, the storage? Saan pong banda na tayo on the preparation side for the arrival of these vaccines?
We're just closely coordinating with the national government. That's where we are now. Okay? Now, the national government has not asked us for any financial support. We've not gone into that, So, basically, pinag-uusapan lang natin dito ay gumagawa na tayo ng sistema na pag dumating yung vaccination, pagdating yung vaccines na yan, paano i-administer yan. Yan ang mag-aralan. Identifying areas already around the city, will it be administered in hospitals? If it's done by hospitals, what hospitals are involved? How many people ang kakayanin during the day? Lahat yan. Kasi hinihingi ng national yan Okay? Kasi, syempre, may part din tayo. Pagdating sa local, kailangan nila ng manpower, kailangan nila ng logistics. Yan, dyan tayo papasok.
On the storage side?
So, kasama yun. Yun ang pinag-aaralan natin. Okay? Yung storage kasi, critical yan. Kung naalala nyo sa Yolanda, nung marami tayong patay, di ba, ina-autopsy yan Nung ina-autopsy yan, hindi naman nila pwede gawin yan sa regular na kwarto. Kasi ang ginagawa sobrang dami. So, ang ginawa nila, nagpadala dito ng container ba na refrigerated. Doon nilagay muna yung mga patay. Pagkatapos, nalabas yun, tapos in-examine. So, just like the Red Cross, I'm sure, tutulong yan, maglalagay ng mga refrigerated or frozen, mga vans na mga ganyan, tapos doon ilalagay yung mga vaccine na yan. So, it takes time for that even to travel. So, ang counterpart ng local government dyan, yung manpower, pagkatapos yung hospitals dito, kasi dito maraming ospital. You see, and I will not be surprised, even other municipalities might use these hospitals to avail of the vaccine. Maybe silang vaccine nila yon pero dito sa mga ospital daw ilalagay. Kasi depende yan eh, alam ng doktor yan. Kung itong mga ibang pasyente may konting comorbidity, di ba? May konting problema, i-administer yung vaccine, mabuti nasa ospital kasi under observation mo yan. Tapos titignan mo, di ba? Hindi naman pwede dyan lang sa barangay, sa kalye lang ibibigay yung vaccine na yan eh. You see what I'm saying? So, ito yung pinag-aaralan yun ng DO. Paano lang aayusin ito?
Mayor, since we are allocating a lot for vaccine program, ano kayong mga activities and projects in the city na makasakripisyo this 2021?
I'm trying wala. Okay? But we have to realize here that we've lost, quite, a percentage of our income because maraming ang business nagsara. So, yung local income natin, medyo tinamaan tayo dyan. So, right now, so far, only half of all the business establishments have already renewed their business, permits. So, we might do an extension. We might. So, I will announce that later on. So, apektado rin tayo dyan eh. So,
May figure pa kayo sa income loss on the part of the city?
well, I would say nag-register 50% pa lang.
Okay, Mayor, meron po kayong sulat last November and twice last December to the Sangguniang requesting for authority to enter into contract with Paymaya for the facilitated payment of businesses of their registration or renewal of their registration with the city. What's the status now of that request of yours?
Well, we still are following that up, and that was discussed a few days ago, and I think there's some negotiations happening. So, yeah. So they said they agreed na this week.
Other issues?
Mayor, if ever po dumating yung bakuna dito sa Tacloban, either Sinovac or Pfizer, you mentioned na magpapabakuna kayo. Ano po yung Pfizer, Sinovac, or
Dalawang dosage yan, di ba? Di ba? O di unang dosage, Sinovac, yung pangalawa, the Pfizer. No, I don't know. But ang sinasabi ko lang dyan, as your leader in Tacloban, as the chief executive, I always said this: if there's anything going to hit Tacloban and our people, it's going to hit me first. Nag H1N1, tinamaan ako. Pag Yolanda, ubos ang gamit ko. Muntik pa ako mamatay. Pagkatapos ito nga, nag-COVID, tinamaan din ako. So, what do you think? You think papavaccine ako before you guys do it? Yes. I have to. I'll do it. If it will encourage our people to get vaccinated, I will do it, of course. Okay? And ako naman, syempre, alang-alang rin sa pamilya ko, I'll do that because I cannot work. It's frustrating. I have many friends nakakasira ng ulo na hindi ka makalabas. Ano ka ba? Hirap na nga ako dyan. Ito nga pagsuot ng mask, hindi na ako makahinga eh.
You were saying, mukhang isang problema natin would be the education of our citizen on the safetyness of this vaccine. Kasi maraming nag-aalangan na magpapakuna dahil marami sila narinig, like you said, the Dingbaksha case, na medyo hindi maganda yung effect ng bakuna sa mga tao. And
lang yung Dingbaksha, if you saw the news 2 nights ago, di ba? Nagka-problema sila sa Norway. Oh.
Does the City Health Office or the City Mayor's Office have a plan on the education part of this vaccination campaign of the government?
Well, it's not really educating the people whether, the only thing na makikita naman natin because of social media now, you will know naman eh. Kasi I'm sure bago maunang Tacloban eh, makikita nyo sa Metro Manila na kakalat na yung vaccine na yan, makikita nyo na yung effectiveness niyan, di ba? O makikita nyo, di ba, anong pinag-usapan nila, yung presidential security. O mukhang healthy naman sila eh. natin imbestigahan yan eh. Healthy na nga yan, okay na nga sila eh, di ba? Tignan natin, let's always look at the good side of it, no? Now, if you see now that many of these securities are like dropping dead, let's start your investigation there. But if you see naman na, it's effective, then, then we should give it a shot, di ba? Do that. National government ang kausap ng mga malaking kumpanya na yan. Kasi pag national government bumuli, bibili siya 50 million vaccines. Bibili tayo 100,000, 200,000. Hindi tayo papansinin. Papansinin tayo ng mga lalaking kumpanya. Kung bibili ka, 50 milyones ang bibilihin mo, ganyang karami. National government. Tapos, national government, they have the institutions in place to make sure that the delivery to the people of those vaccines are done correctly and the accountability is also there. You see what I'm saying? Rather than you yourselves, imagine if there were no restrictions, then somebody here decides to buy vaccine because somebody flew here and said, meron akong vaccine. Tapos tinataka ng Pfizer, fake naman. Tapos nakakamatay-matay ng mga tao. Maubos naman yung oras natin, kaya imbestiga, di ba? Kaya may sistema. Kaya itong sinasabi ko, medyo magandang posisyon na tayo. Dahil kung makikita mo yung casualty natin, medyo mababa, di ba? Tapos nakakaraos naman tayo ng ganyan. Ito na, kung nakapag-intay tayo ng ilang buwan, halos 1 taon, ano ba naman mag-intay tayo ng 6 na buwan pa, pag-aralan mabuti, paano yung sistema para mabigyan yung mga frontliners. Kasi naman, akalain mo na buhay ka ng matagal pagkatapos 1 taon ka frontliner, tapos in-injection ng kanyan, pagkatapos may side effect tayo. Hindi naman pwede sabihin natin na yung side effect lang, o mamamatay lang 10%, sige, pwede na. Hindi pwede yun.
But what can you say, so that there are several LGUs here in the region have signified their intention. They have even entered into an agreement with Pfizer, AstraZeneca.
Di ba sinabi nga ng Malacanang, hindi nga pwede. Ang dadaan ka, tri-party yan, lahat yan, di ba, tri-part. Kaya, alam mo, kung masasabi ko, ako, priority ko kagad Tacloban, to get that, hindi tayo mahuhuli dyan. It's not, I don't want to announce and say na, we have the money to buy this, to buy that. That's insignificant. What's important is what's available, how we can get it, what's the accountability. Lahat yan pinag-aralan, di ba? Mahirap yung tatakbo lang tayo, bibili tayo, pagkatapos anong accountability niyan. Di ba? Baka sabihin pa nila, si Mayor Romualdez gumawa na naman ng malaking pera, bumili ng ganyan, fake pala, hindi pala effective. So who's going to answer for this? Di ba? So let's do it correctly. Yun lang naman masasabi ko. At saka hindi lang yung problema sa Pilipinas, problema ng lahat ng bansa yan. Problema ng lahat ng bansa yan. Kaya pinag-aaralin lang mabuti. Okay? Like look at the senior citizens in Norway who's gonna answer for that. That's what I'm saying. So let's be careful. Let's do that. But be rest assured, the Congressman and I, priority yan. Aayusin namin yan. Okay? But we are working with the national government.
We have a timeline, sir, kung kailan tayo.
It's always ASAP naman.
May question to Dr. Blo. Ano po yung statistics natin ng COVID-19?
For as of January 18, 2021, we have 1,558 cases with 1,390 recoveries. That's about 90% recovery. Pananglitan niya na, we have 143 active case. And for yung last night na just in, we have 2 new cases and 25 deaths from last year until yesterday. Yeah.
Wala pong local transmission.
Matagal na tayo may local transmission. Ano ko lang yung sa vaccines kasi we had a training with the Department of Health based sa utos na. Tama lahat yung sinabi ni Mayor na we really have to ensure that we are working with the national government because number one, there is no, in the Philippines, there is no vaccine that is approved yet, only for emergency utilization. And the five priorities are the public and private health workers, the barangay health workers and the BHERTs, the other national government agencies, frontliners, the indigent senior citizen, the remaining senior citizen, and the uniformed personnel. So yun yung first 5. And per timeline of the Department of Health, ito sa ating micro-planning, we are targeting for Tacloban about 89,040, that is 31% of our projected population. Pero nag-start na po tayo humingi ng master listing sa mga frontliners. Una talaga yung mga healthcare workers, including all the hospitals. So mauna sila, mauna kami.
So ano to, Dr. May registration?
Yeah, we have a master listing at naka-QR code lahat ng babakunahan.
Saan po na barangays?
Hindi, there will be no immunization in the barangays. It will be in the facility.
Registration na.
Hindi po, kasi based dun sa priority, mauna muna talaga yung mga healthcare workers, uniform personnel, and then the indigent na senior citizen and the remaining senior citizen.
The pregnant women, those with
They are not included in the priority yet.
I heard yesterday, even senior citizens are no longer be allowed.
It depends, nagbabago-bago po kasi wala pa talaga.
Yung secretary kahapon.
Yeah, because of what had happened perhaps in Norway. Yeah.
Nagkaroon ba ng surge of cases after the Christmas or may epekto ba ang Christmas break in terms of number of cases?
I will not call it a surge. It's just because, for example, di ba meron tayong nag-31? Na-late kasi nun, pero isang pamilya yung 12. Isang pamilya yung 12, isang pamilya 5, isang pamilya So hindi ko siya ma-consider na surge kasi naka-confine siya and we were able to do the surveillance immediately once they had a positive. Kasi yun talaga yung advantage kung nakikipagsumpayan ka sa national government, which is the Department of Health.
Are we a high risk area?
Sinabi ng WHO, Eastern Visayas is a high-risk area. Ako, I would always consider it's a high-risk area kasi kasama naman tayo sa Eastern Visayas. Kasi mahirap if we put our guard down. Yun yung
Definitely, high risk tayo.
Oo.
Being a highly urbanized city, the density of your population, yes.
Congestion, yeah.
Kahit itong boardroom nga to, high risk na ito ngayon.
But you go to downtown area,
Of course.
parang wala lang.
Ano?
If you go to the downtown area, parang wala lang eh.
Well, naman, there is a difference naman between danger and fear. We project, fear, but actually, what we have to act on is the actual danger. So this is what we're looking at. Yes, I got a lot of calls a barrage of calls noong December na ito crowded tong area, crowded naman tong area, crowded area. Pero importante, I will listen to the contact tracers. Where are the areas wherein this virus actually spreads? Does it spread ba there? Mahirap naman tayo, magsha-shadow boxing tayo. Di ba? Buti naman kung bago-bago lang ito, mag-iisang taon na nga, kaya tinitingnan natin mabuti bago tayo mag-shutdown, di ba? Bakit tayo magla-lockdown? Ano yun? Shadow boxing, hindi naman nangyayari yung ganyan. Mahirap yung ganun eh. Di ba?
Kasama ba sir yung local media sa priority sa ating government? Kasi frontliners din kami.
Ano?
Kasama bang local media if ever?
Oo naman.
Salaman lang.
Nasa others. Other remaining workers.
Kung maayos ko pa, mauna kayo eh. Di obserbahan muna namin kayo.
Ikaw ba natin sir?
Sige, ako mauna. Mayor, there have been a lot of complaints of those who had COVID-19. They had been infected and they were released. And there was apparent discrimination na they feel that because they had COVID before, na parang lumatayo sa kanila yung mga tao. Are we doing something to address this discrimination that
Hindi, pero ako tinitignan ko nga. Ako, nag-positive ako. Ang dami-dami nyo ngayon dito. Mas marami pa nga sa dati. Pati dyan sa labas. So, hindi mo maalis yun eh.
Yes,
Hindi mo maalis yun. Pero in the long run, I mean, in the long run, you don't feel that anymore, But,
education.
when I was positive, nagtago yung mga anak ko. But when gumagaling na ako, diba? So, takes time. But, they're just careful. You shouldn't look at it naman as being discriminating, against others. But, they're just being careful. Kasi hindi naman biro talaga magkuha niyan eh. Mahal-mahal ng kasakit. Tapos, hindi ka pa nakakasiguro. It affects every part of your body. Even mentally. Nakaka-affect. Kasi akalain mo, yung kaibigan ko, yung schoolmate ko, kinuha yung misis niya sa Amerika, kinuha ng ambulansya before Christmas. Pagkatapos, umabot ng 3 linggo, 2 days ago lang namatay. Hindi na niya nakita. Pagkatapos, pati siya, hindi niya alam kung anong gagawin niya. Naka-quarantine pa siya. Sabi ko, naka-quarantine ka pa, mag-1 buwan ka na dyan. Kasi hindi niya nakakasiguro. Tatakot sila. Nagkakaroon ng malaking scare doon. Why? So, sometimes, it's good to discriminate also. Because you're just being, you're exercising lang naman caution. Bakit hindi, di ba? Karapatan mo naman yan eh. Kung ayaw mo naman, hindi mas maganda. We keep telling our people, wag lumabas, wag lumabas. Pagkatapos positive ka, ay lumapit sa'yo. Siyempre, baka hindi niya na rin naalala kung kailan ka nag-positive. Last month ba o last week? Siyempre, di ba? May ganun eh. So, you cannot know that anymore. But what I'm saying, this is really affected our lifestyle. And let's exercise na lang caution. It's not, wag natin isipin na kumbaga sa labas itong vaccine na to, solve ng problema natin. Hindi pa tayo solve dyan. Yan, kababanggit lang ng doktor, 89,000 ay iba-vaccinate, di ba? Kung gawin natin 1,000 a day yun, the 89 days yun. Di ba? Kaya ba natin gawin isang araw pagdating ng vaccine, wala nang problema? Baka sabihin ng mga tao, ay, dumating na yung vaccine, kasama ka na yung vaccine. Sige, sige, mag-party na tayo. Kasi wala na tayong problema, vaccine na let's exercise caution now when it comes to that. Because even the delivery of that vaccine naman, if you do it 2,000 people, you fill up the hospitals, even 2,000 people, then you do like what? 60,000 in 1 month? That's not easy. Mahirap gawin yun. And outside population, millions na tayo dito sa region. And you think, hindi makikisingit naman yung mga ibang LGU dito sa Tacloban din. Makikisingit na rin yan kasi mga ospital nandito. Hindi naman gagawin sa barangay level yan eh. O ilan ang ospital sa probinsya ng Leyte, ilan ang probinsya sa mga probinsya sa Samar, Southern Leyte, lahat ilan-ilan lang yan. Pinakamaraming ospital nandito. Sisingit yan. Saan gagamit ng nurse? Saan gagamit ng mga manpower yan? Dito rin yan sa region. Sa DOH din yan. Ganun. Do they have enough manpower to deliver those vaccines? That is our counterpart sa local. And the national wants to know that because they're not going to send now 100,000 vaccines here pagkatapos they know it will take you 3 months to do that or 2 months. So, this is what we have to coordinate properly para hindi naman masayang. Baka may isa dyan dumating tapos nasira yung cooling system niya, di nasira lahat yung vaccine nun. So, these are things na contingency. We're making sure foolproof yan. Walang tayong problema doon. Okay?
How many vaccinators do we have to hire?
For the vaccinator, it's a different training. So, hindi pwedeng basta nurse ka lang or ano. So, we have training, nag-train na tayo, tapos meron ulit 21, 22 for all the private and public facilities, health facilities.
21...
January 21, 22. So, there will be ang target natin, if we have 7 hospitals plus 7 districts, so we will have 15 vaccinators team.
Per
15 per day. Vaccinators. And for DOH, we can only
per
inject...
hospital.
Per hospital?
Per facility.
And how many facilities?
15.
50%.
So you have 15 and then tapos 75 to 100 lang per day. Kasi every day po yung pag-monitor.
So isipin mo lang, ilan lang yun. Di ba? Tapos pag-uusapan natin, bibili ka na kagad ng hindi, di ba? Yan ang sa region, di ba question yan? Ba't bumili ng Denbach siya, good for 3 years, million na yan, tapos i-store mo yan, ilan araw mo, ilan linggo, ilang buwan mo yan bago ma-release yan. So, kailangan staggered. So, I believe many cities can afford Because it all depends on how much you can administer within the year, within the month. And then, you do it staggeredly, di ba? Para it's effective, hindi sayang. Di ba?
But there are surveys that can come out, sir, that majority, parang more around 50% ayaw magpabaksin. Wala sila.
Hindi naman yan eh. Kasi, alam mo, yung 50% na yan, I'm almost sure they listen to the advice of their doctors. Hindi naman sila lang basta sila nagsasabi niyan. Kasi may mga ibang doktor, sila mismo sasabihin nila, hindi muna ako magpapabaksin, unahin muna yung iba. O baka also they have a source naman that, they prefer this certain vaccine because of their, their condition. So, iba, we don't know.
Kasi yung Tacloban, we're going to make it voluntary.
Hindi lang Tacloban, lahat is an informed consent. It is an informed consent.
This situation of maraming ayaw, we're going to make it voluntary or mandatory?
Alam mo, it's actually, ganito yan eh. For example, frontliner ka. Hindi na kita ilalagay sa frontline kung hindi ka wala kang protection, di ba? I mean, common sense naman, that's part of management. I will not make you a frontliner anymore. Everyone here has been vaccinated, ayaw mo, then you don't be a frontliner. Because magiging high risk ka. Yan naman mangyayari dyan eh. But what is critical now, because of all this talk about this vaccine, it's our job, tayong lahat dito, to explain to the people that, this is not 100%, but we're working on it. And we're working on it, and it's gonna happen. Okay? So, it's not like, we're seeing, 10,000 people, 1,000 people dying every day and all that because of nangyayari dito kasi walang vaccine. We survive this. Okay? The government's doing everything we can on this, but it's not a 100% solution. It is a very good measure, to make sure that this, while we have COVID-19 here, we've got this vaccine that's going to help us and almost all of the people, then that's good, di ba? But there's no guarantee that next year we have another virus that needs another vaccine. Then we don't know. So ako sinasabi ko, we educate our people na itong lifestyle natin, nakita nyo na marami ang na-save dahil sa distancing, dahil sa giingat ng mask, tuloy-tuloy pa rin. Huwag natin sabihin, pag may vaccine ka na and all that, 100, tanggalin mo na to, pwede ka na maghalubilo, ingat ka lang, ingat pa rin. Diba? Ito nga diba, nagkakandara pa sila sa bagong strain. Diba? Ito na may vaccine, sabi nila, covered din yan, all that, diba, covered. What if Ebola comes out? Will this take care of Ebola? Ebola is another animal altogether, di ba? So, ingat lang tayo. That I'm cautioning now. That is the new dangers that we are facing, the new challenges we're facing for the next 10 years.
So what will be your primary considerations in procuring the vaccine? Is it the price or the efficacy?
Both. The price, I'm telling you, we can always finance that. Kung lalaki na ngayon, finance natin yan. At saka marami dito sa private sector. Sila, basta available sa market yan. Alam mo kung available yan sa mercury drug yan, binili na yan ng mga kumpanya. Nilagay na yan sa mga tao nila yan. Diba? Ako, dati naman ako negosyante, ginawa ko na yun kung available ba. Diba? Tapos yung mga mahihirap lang, yun ang mga tulungan natin. Kasi, diba? Pero those who can afford, I'm sure, will look for a way that if it's available lang sa mercury drug. Pero in this case, I don't think that's the case. Kung sabay-sabay nila gawin, kung sabihin natin ng gobyerno natin, kukuha ng mga 150 million worth of vaccines or 100 million, and then 30% of that bibilhin ng private sector at it will offer in drugstores. Mabilis ito. Diba? And I'm sure the private sector, nagsalita naman yung mga negosyante sa Makati, diba, na sila rin bibili, sila rin ang mag-acquire yan. O, diba? Baka yung iba, negosyo pa yan eh. Gano'n ang mangyayari dyan, Joey. So, but it's our job to make sure and tell the people na exercise caution. It doesn't mean, Superman ka na pagka may vaccine ka.
Intriga lang, sir. Kasi na-mention before, si Alfred Romualdez, nagpa-anis.
Ano?
Si Congressman, nagpa-anis. It came out all over.
I think sinabi niyo yun para hindi siya i-discriminate, di ba? Kasi majority floor, pa lahat lalapit sa'yo, hindi matatakot.
But you didn't mention about it.
No, I mean, I hope he did, because Yeda naman's a nurse, so, they also have contacts abroad. Maybe he did it, I don't know. Sabi niya. Hindi ko naman tinatanong yan. So, di ba?
Mayor, about sa mga garbage collections, bakit yung iba po hindi po naman collect sa ibang areas?
Kaya nga, nagkulang ng truck. Explain na lang ni Mr. Engineer Parado yan. Sa totoo lang, that got to my attention also. That's why we met here, I think it was a week ago, 2 weeks ago, because we had a problem there sa dump site na yung kalye dyan halos naging maputik na hindi na makadaan yung truck sa sobrang ulan kasi. So, emergency crew namin, pinisemento na nila yan. So, nagka-problema. Kaya yung isang truck doon naman, kaya nagkulan, nalaglag sa bangin. So, nasira. So, that's being worked on now. But I already gave instructions sa GSO, pati sa engineering, na if they cannot pick it up, we use our own trucks to do that. Okay, so I gave that instruction already to Engineer Parado, but he can explain.
Like in Ridgeview, problema doon yung mga sayaw mga as in, nakakadugang ba ito nung sakit ito ay yung bubod ng environment?
Yes, oo. It's very apparent na talaga ang problema natin dito. Pero last year, we coordinated with the City Hall Extension Office. May ada kita program dito na every Friday may schedulehan pag dakupit aton mga layaw nga ayam dito north. Tacloban North. So every Friday may kakadto natin ito hira para diliwat downtown area and other barangays nasiserbihan hapon natin.
Alam mo kasi ang problema dyan damot ayam. Pagkatapos mga tao pinapakain pa inaalagaan pa, pinapadami pa tapos bibigay yung problema sa amin. Ayaw nila dakop nila to si turnover kay Dr. Eunice para hindi na tayo naman problema dyan. Sa totoo lang, maliit na bagay yan Yung iba naman, inaalagaan, siging pakain na sa mga aso na yan. Kaya kakaproblema tayo, di ba? Kung may mga reklamo, dakop nga lahat. Tapos, surrender kayo,
Surrender.
Dr. Eunice, hindi nga i-surrender. Tawag lang.
We have
Pupuntahan
program
nila,
for
kukunin
voluntary
nila.
surrender actually kinukuha namin.
Mayor, sumama na po yung ASF sa Amuyog. Meron na po ba dito ngayon sa Tacloban? Tsaka yung presyo ngayon ng mga bilihin, like yung karne, gulay, masyadong tumas. Magkakaroon po ba tayo ng price freeze dito sa Tacloban? Kasi yung ibang mga namimili natin dito, nag-aaraban na ba?
I think there will be a price freeze nationwide. Because from my hearing, Malacanang is going to issue a freeze on prices. And we will abide by that. But we're just waiting for their instructions also. As far as I'm concerned, I don't think hindi pa tayo napasukan dito ng ASF because I would know right away. I am always in touch with Dr. Eunice, so malalaman ko right away. But definitely we're closing our borders to that. Now, depende yan. Kung may mga barkong dadaan dito pero dumadaan lang at papayagan natin with the proper protocols naman gagawin, di ba?
Mayor, may monitoring sa mga merkado dito regarding sa presyo ng baboy. Kasi,
Dapat kayo mag-monitor yan. Nasa media ka. I-report mo yan. Pag ni-report mo, a-actionan namin kaagad yan. Di ba?
300,
Ha?
from 280 to
Very soon.
In Luzon, it has gone up to 400 yata because of ASF, nawala yung supply nila. And then Mindanao ngayon ay nagsusupply sa Luzon. So tayo, nasa-sacrifice tayo actually. Oo, kasi mas malakas ang bentahan dun sa Luzon, dito sa Region 8, Eastern Visayas, hindi na sila masyado
Kaya ako, sa totoo lang, Mataas ang presyo ng baboy, ibig sabihin yan, kumain kayo ng gulay.
Mahal din ang
Mahal din ang gulay, Mayor.
Ha?
Mahal din ang gulay na ngayon.
Pastig.
Talaga?
Kahit kanyang ano, yung nakachap na 60 pesos per
Isda,
kilo.
isda.
Diet na lang.
50, 60 na yung price.
Pagtanim
60
na.
per kilo, yung ano lang.
Tanim na lang.
Yung pakbet.
70.
60 to 70 per kilo.
Saan ito?
Ha? Sa
Dito sa
Mercado.
sa ating palengke.
Dito sa
Palengke?
natin, no? Po yung pakbet.
Alam mo, yan ang problema eh. Pero when you look at the groceries in the malls,
Okay naman, sir. yung
their
ano,
prices are standard, di ba? Still there, di ba? Yan. Kaya ako, nagustuhan ko yun eh. Nung magbukas ang Robinson, bukas itong mga market lahat. Sige, bukas kayo. May grocery dyan, may parang wet market sila dun eh. Yan, naka-stable ng price eh. Kung wala yan, naku, nakartel na naman tayo dito. All over. Pero definitely, no, pagka ganyan, istiga mo yan, tignan natin. You know, we bring those ano down. Yeah, let's do that.
Mayor, regarding Robinsons, kailan mag-open?
Ano?
Price monitor.
Price monitoring. May team
But I was told they're planning to open March. The problem, nagkaroon sila ng delay because of COVID. I think they changed all their air conditioning equipment there, yung mga air conditioning nila, ano. So, hindi dumating, galing abroad eh. So, na-delay yung shipment. So, they should open by March, I was told. March daw silang bubukas.
Yung closing of borders, sir, kailan nag-start na? WES for the youth.
Actually, ano, si Sir, mayroon siyang executive order na na-issue March 12, 2020. It has been our naging protocol natin to check documents from incoming shipments of live hogs. Yung nangyari sa Ubuyog, yun ang kinatatakutan natin. That is why, enforce pa to. Oo, very strict tayo sa papasok. No? But then, sabi ni Mayor, we are allowing transshipment, yung dadaan lang sa atin, papuntang Luzon. Ang naging problema ngayon is si Ormoc at saka si Southern Leyte, nag-close sila ng border. So, kahapon, about 11 truckloads na hogs andoon sa may Lipata. So, that is why they were trying to ask the approval of the good mayor para makadaan ng Tacloban Port at makadiretso sa Luzon. Na-relay ko na yun, sir. Okay, inalaw naman ni sir, na-relay ko na ngayon. Ang naging, ano nga din ngayon, si Northern Samar, close na din yung border. So, yun, magkakaproblema talaga tayo. Yung price ng pork natin is may posibilidad talaga na tataas siya. And then, yung paging sustainability natin, siguro mga 1 to 2 months. Dito. Ito, 2 months lang yung
At saka intindihin natin yun sa gulay na yun dahil sa masamang panahon natin.
Yes.
Pati yung mga isda lahat, taas din yan. Diba?
So where do we get our feed supply?
Actually, we are dependent from Mindanao. Oo. Pero ngayon na si Mindanao hindi na rin nag-issue ng shipping permit, so hindi na din sila makakadating sa Tacloban. Even other places dito sa Region 8, sa Mindanao tayo kumukuha. Ngayon nga lang kasi 'di ba infested na din sila. Sa Bukidnon na lang yung supply natin. But si Bohol at saka si Cebu City at saka other provinces like Sibilira, nag-coordinate na ako just in case talaga magkaupusan. Yung provincial vet doon bigay ng assurance na they're willing to supply dito sa Tacloban na lang. Parang local na lang. Pero yung sinasabi nating closing of borders, di ba na-establish naman ng 1710 yung quarantine zone ng Department of Agriculture. Tinitingnan natin na hanggang Dulag lang tayo. So sources from Dulag down dito si Tanawan, Tolosa, Dagami, Burawin, hanggang dito sa Santa Fe at saka Palo area. Oo, pwede tayo. But then, yun nga, mahigpit tayo sa documents. Last Saturday and Sunday, even before the declaration of DA, may movement na ginawa na yung para ma-spread out na yung mga tao. So, doon sa Imelda village na checkpoint natin sa COVID, nag-coordinate tayo sa PNP, binigay natin itong executive order para may guide sila. Doon din sa Marasbaras. And then this morning, doon sa Tagpuro na side na checkpoint, kasi we were thinking na baka dumaan sila San Miguel, lumusot. At saka dito, sir, sa may baybay na side, nag-coordinate na kami sa barangay chairman. Yun ang mga areas. Kung halimbawa, dito lang from Leyte, yung na-mention ko na mga towns, kailangan na yung barangay certificate from the barangay chairman na galing talaga doon yung source, yung baboy. Yung point of origin. Oo. Kasi
Anong municipalities ang bawal talaga magpasok dito ngayon na
si Abuyog. Pero good that Abuyog is close talaga sila. Oo, close border na
other
sila. Oo.
municipalities like Javier,
Si Javier, are still waiting for the confirmation. Kanina, oo. Oo, si La Paz, si Javier, at saka yun.
So, the rest of the areas here are still green zones.
Green zones pa. Dark green zone.
Yung consumption ng Tacloban, magkano?
Yung per capita consumption natin, aabot tayo ng 1.6 something per head. Annual.
1.6.
Oo. Yung per capita consumption. Galing yun na data from the PSA. Philippine Statistics Authority.
Kung kilos daw or head.
Oo.
Kilos.
1.6 kilos.
Per year? Yun lang
Kulang tayo. But still, we can still eat yung chicken, meron naman tayong fish, ibang sources of protein.
Ilan naman may slaughter sa atin sa Pilipinas?
Dito sa atin, umabot tayo to 80 to 90 heads. But last December, yung sa 25 natin, umabot tayo ng 400 plus.
Galing ko sa
Mindanao.
So we're going to appeal to our nahuwag taasan ng presyo despite of
Sana po, oo, sana po. But then, ngayon sa
Pero
market,
dito naman may shortage tayo ng baboy, pero walang shortage sa lechon.
Yung lechon kasi, sir, yung source natin is local. Oo, dito lang sa alang-alang.
Oo.
Parang 1 to 2 months na supply na sustainability based on local
Yung local producers.
Tacloban lang or outside Tacloban?
Outside Tacloban.
Ngayon, di ba may livelihood projects na implement kasama doon sa mga pag-raise sa mga hubs, sa mga communities, especially sa North? Parang yung CP project.
Yeah.
What will happen to it now? Will it stop for a while? Or
Hindi mo na, hindi naman.
will it actually help in this?
Iba naman yung African Swine Flu sa COVID. African Swine Flu na pumapasok dito, sinara naman yung board. Hindi naman nakahawa itong dito sa norte. Okay, safe naman sila doon. Oo, safe naman sila doon.
Safe sila.
Walang problema doon. Kaya nga sabi ko sa iyo, kalimitan ng mga baboy dyan ng mga norte at lahat yan, lechon. Kaya parang walang shortage ng lechon. Tuwing dumadaan ako dyan, dami ko nakikitang lechon. Diba? So, medyo adjust tayo. Kain muna kayo ng manok.
Mahal.
For this backyard racers natin ng mga house, ano yung mga paalala natin sa kanila para hindi magkaroon ng problem ng ASF?
Actually, kanina, I sent letters to barangay chairman at saka yung president ng mga association, farmers association. Kanina, yung isang team natin andoon, naka-indicate doon sa sulat ko na i-discourage muna yung swill feeding, yung leftover food, yung mga buntol naton, kay usahay it baboy, naging kakaon na to, like si lechon, in case may adahiya, may ASF, tapos ipapakaon gihapon nato ha baboy, amo ito nakikita natin yung usa nga transmission. And then, usa pa, maging, strict to hera, biosecurity. Oo. Disinfection, kailangan malimpyo talaga ang tangkal. And then, diri yung hera magpasakog yung tao, like ito nga, nakumpra or namamalit, diri nga ito magpaharayo. Kay, ang virus, it can be carried ating sapatos, hangin, even halangaw, pwede hiya madara.
So, DA, one of the reasons they're looking at is this more service providers. Do you see also?
Yes, oo. And seamen can also be a carrier of
So, bawal mga ano.
Pero kung yung mga baboy, pag mask mo, tsaka face shield, kakaroon mo na lang. Dapat social distancing din.
Bawal ano yan sa dok pagpakasta.
Abstinence.
Opo.
Mayor, as na painkiller, hindi
Yes.
yung sa road widening, marami kasi text sa akin, tsaka sabi dyan sa may part ng dito, ayan, yung junk shop na lang. Hindi pa doon nila na-clear.
I think,
Basura?
well, no, hindi. Unang-una, yung, what do you call this, yung reclaiming of roads is really the trust of the DILG, and we are complying with that. But we don't have enough people naman to do the entire city, even in 1 week. It takes time. But kasama yan, they will clear that. We have to reclaim, especially the sidewalks. Because if we don't do that, hindi lang nakakasagabal sa traffic, but it also endangers the lives of the people because naglalakad na sila, babagtas na sila sa kalye, di ba? Hindi rito maupay, dangerous ito. So, ito nga, it is more engineering that is handling that with the DILG. Okay, ito, general services naman ito. So, but we have a program also that one of our problems, our concerns here is lighting up several areas in the city. So we're focused on that. That's why ito nga sa COVID, itong mga expenses, ito priority na projects na tinutulak ko. So you will see, but we're going to get to that. Mangyayari yan. So, so yun lang. Yung sa reclaiming of roads, it's important. We need that. Lalo na dito sa Tacloban, ang dami ng sasakyan.
May there were concerns pala doon sa mga binukas-bukas na kalsada ng driver. Actually, may concerns yung tao doon.
Mas marami akong concern kasi sa kanila. Sa totoo lang. I call their attention already with that. Because it's causing traffic, and especially with the rains now, it's really a problem. Okay. So I'm addressing that issue. I'm aware of that. I'm fully aware of that. Ilang beses na ako dumaan dyan.
Meaning, walang coordination sa city government.
It's not walang coordination, but they're telling me also just the same as the contractors are saying, and they're pleading with us, konting delay because there's so much rain. I mean, they'd like to cement it, but they're having problems with our weather. Because kita nyo naman, since December, tigil ang ulan dito. Itong panahon natin, talagang very wet or wet. So, wala talagang So, humingi lang ng konting pasensya lang. But most of the contracts all over the region is all on hold because of the torrential rains that we're having. But ako naman, pasalamat na ako, this rain, wala naman yung malakas na bagyo na dumaan dito. Maybe that's because marami ngayon ng... Pero at least ganun na lang kasi maraming airplano hindi lumipad this year. Maraming mga fossil fuels na that weren't used. So, medyo nakahinga-hinga itong Mother Earth natin. Kaya medyo hindi tayo tinamaan ng lakas ng bagyo. I hope, ganun na nga mangyari. So, yes, and maybe also good things also. How's our dengue?
So far, yung up to last morbidity, okay naman po. Tapos, uptick ng mga barangay na. Tuloy-tuloy po yung ating dengue brigade. 300 for the whole year. 365 for the whole year. Compare na 2,000 plus.
Do we have the last
4.
Mayor, is the city doing a monitoring sa development ng airport repairs or rehabilitation?
Yeah, actually, Kaupod is under the national, but I was told that the terminal building, I think they're going to start within the first quarter of this year.
Parang nagpas ng resolution ng sanggunian granting the to para sa download yan from the
para sa
for
yan?
the purchase of the lands.
Yeah, additional land.
How many houses pa ba ang kailangan i-evacuate from that place?
From what I know, not much. Konti na lang, from what I know. Because meron naman available na transfer naman namin. Pero talagang tinutulak ko na magkaroon na talaga tayo ng terminal na bago dyan. Because we really need it. And I feel magre-rebound na economy natin. If not the first, baka early part of the second quarter of this year. Baka magbalikan na ito, medyo lumakas ulit. So, yun ang mga nakikita ko.
Parang may ano din yata doon na parang for the purchase of private land ng patangalan ng project, gano'n ba kalawang pa yung government o yung private lands dyan na?
Actually, you know, they, for example, the runway, they're increasing the property sa runway naman. Not because of the runway itself, but they have to put landing lights that will guide the plane to come in. So it's basically their instruments that, you know, that's why the airport needs some land for that. Now, the terminal building naman, pati yun. Umpisa na yan. So, hopefully, you know, na I think second quarter. But they're supposed to do that first quarter this year. Nabid na yan, award na yan. What I was told. Anything else?